Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I am your host, Kerrilynn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. If you are liking what UFO Paranormal Radio has to offer, please check out their website, uprntalkradio.com. Find out more about all of the shows that we have to offer, our hosts. The word is that we're getting a new website that may have a chat and a merch store and all of that fun, good stuff. So please check that out. This week, so I know that I've been letting you guys in that I was having a secret surprise guest. So my secret surprise guest is my bestie. So my best friend, Carrie. So Carrie is joining me tonight, and we are going to be talking about witchy haunts. But when we started deep diving down, we kind of decided there's a veering. We're going to veer off just a wee little bit. But it started because I sent you that meme about...
We were burned at the stake.
Yeah, we were burned at the stake in the 1600s, and we vowed that we would find each other in this lifetime. And we did. So we thought we would talk about witchy stuff, witchies. The Pendle Hill to start with, right? So Pendle Hill or Bell Witch?
You start.
Maybe Bell Witch. We can start with Bell Witch.
Okay.
So Carrie's spelling is different. So, but what is interesting, it is Kerrilynn.
It is.
Yeah. So we're both Kerrilynn.
Mine spelled like the movie.
Like the horror movie.
Yeah.
Mine is spelled like I'm in my 50s. So all Carries in that age bracket were spelled this way. Let's say hello to some folks. Hi, Heidi Gold. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving us a shout out as well too, and helping people know where to find us and at what time. Michelle Wilfong, thank you so much for being here. Lois Clark, hello. Thank you for being here. Mort Ali, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Contessa Martins. Thank you so much for being here. Do you guys, for the folks that are in the chat, oh, hi, Cindy Waghorn, hello, thank you so much. Surrender and Shine, thank you for being here. Julie Dow, thank you so much for being
Julie.
Beth Beecroft, thank you so much for being here. Hello. It's great. It's really funny, like when we start looking or talking about witches, what people's concept of what a witch is, and then what it actually is, and like what a practice would be, and then how people were persecuted from it. So that was like something else that I wanted to look at.
Yeah.
Like all of those things that would get you persecuted. Moles,
Cursing.
freckles. Yeah.
Like cussing?
Yeah.
Or cursing?
Both. Looking sideways at your husband, maybe.
Oh.
That too. You give a wrong look. Somebody else doesn't like you.
Yeah.
That happened too. You just don't have to like somebody. It's all kinds of reasons. Denise Smith, thank you so much. Yes, this is true. If you are celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, I hope you have a safe and happy holiday weekend, long weekend, especially if you're traveling. So do you want to start with, let's start with Bell Witch.
Okay.
Just because I know that with Pendle Hill, I'm quite excited about the whole story with all of it. So let's do Bell Witch first.
Get that underway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to start with what you discovered about Bell Witch?
You go ahead.
You want me to start
Yes.
first?
Yes. I'm incredibly nervous.
So with Bell, so I wanted to talk about originally it was like the Witchy Haunts. So Bell Witch came up and Pendle Hill, and then I kind of went sideways. And with Bell Witch, what I'm finding is the telephone game.
Mhm.
So do you have the history of where
Yeah.
it started? Do you want to share that?
Sure. So it originated with the Bell House. Is that what it's called? The Bell House?
Yeah,
So
I think
the
it was like a
haunting-
cabin.
Mhm. So it was a haunting in 1817.
1817.
1817.
So yeah, right when religion is a thing.
So then they started hearing knocking and scratching, but I don't think that happened right away.
So do you think that, so I heard, or I was under the impression at some point that two brothers found a skull and brought the skull back to the cabin, and then there was more stuff that happened.
I didn't know that.
Oh. But that's the telephone game thing.
Right.
Like, well, here's some bits and pieces
Right.
to it, and then embellished over time.
Yes.
And then could it be like, so I watched this video. Anybody in the chat know much about the Bell Witch cave or the Bell Witch story? Because the way that it has evolved, to me, the more that we've put our energy into it, we've created that entity or being or haunting, like a tulpa, right? And now they have reports like, don't pick up a rock when you're in the cave and bring it with you because stuff happens when you leave.
have bad luck. They say that people mail stuff back if they've taken it.
See, I would have a hard time because I would probably be the one that picks. It would be like both pockets. But there was like reports of this lady who put a rock in her pocket and she broke her leg by the time she went to the down the road.
Yes.
Stopped at a gas station and broke her leg.
Yes.
And then brought it back and said, "I'm sorry, you warned me not to do this."
Yes. Or taking pictures. Even taking pictures.
You're not supposed to take pictures?
Well, they say if you take at the Bell Cave.
At the cave.
If you take pictures at the cave, it's all black. Like you can't.
Oh.
It's all distorted.
So that could be like environmental, couldn't it be? Like ley line and environmental stuff.
Probably.
Hi, Lewis Clark. Lewis is saying happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian friends. Hi, Michelle. True. Which part is true, Michelle, about creating it? And like the more that we put our energy into it, the bigger the story gets. So it's been on all the ghosty shows as well too, and people checking it out. But to me, the story got bigger.
I'm sure it gets embellished along the way for sure.
Right? Gail Rowe. Hello. Thank you so much for being here, Gail. So it started with John. Was it John Bell? Was the dad?
They don't talk about many other people. John and Betsy are usually the ones that pop up. I guess Betsy was the one that used to visit the caves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And as the story unfolds, isn't it that the Bell Witch, they're saying potentially poisoned John?
And I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Folks, yep. I had it up. There is potential. But again, all of it, like to me, all of it feels like it got embellished along the way because there was some kind of report. Let me see if I can find it. And then he died like 3 days later. There was some mysterious jar with some stuff in it. But if you are witchy in any way, there's always going to be a jar with stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. Multiple ones.
Liquids of different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you best not touch them.
No, but people do. They dig stuff up and then they find a bottle with the things and then they touch it.
Don't touch it.
Folks, don't touch the bottles when you dig them up. If there's stuff in it, just leave it respectfully.
Yes.
And then maybe take a peek at whatever your heritage is and leave an offering at the same time as an I'm sorry I disrupted your stay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Michelle is saying, take only pictures, leave only footprints. Seems to be good guidance generally. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Gail is sharing, I lived in a very haunted house growing up and have had several experiences, so I definitely believe in the paranormal. Mm-hmm. And it becomes a relationship. It doesn't always have to necessarily be like a healthy one, but there is some sort of relationship when you are coexisting with those energies. Mm-hmm. But there's no that didn't seem to be necessarily invited in. It just was. There doesn't seem to be a pinpoint to they found what was on the land ahead prior to that. I don't know. It's so weird.
So how do they figure out it was a witch and not just a spirit? What would be the difference?
I don't know. Okay, so I wanted to find the accusation. So the accusation was poisoning. And so the story is the Bell witch is said to have hidden a vial of poison in the Bell household chimney. One drop tested on a cat allegedly killed it instantly. The witch later claimed she intended to put poison in John Bell's dinner.
But I thought we didn't know who the witch was.
They called her Kate, but Kate was the neighbor.
So Kate is the witch?
No, she was just a neighbor. I don't know. See, I don't get it. I don't understand. Another accusation was cursing and threats against individuals. So the story is the entity repeatedly cursed John Bell, threatening to kill him, and verbally harassed the Bell family with insults and promises of harm. And it increased. So it was John or Betsy that did get a lot of physical stuff happen to her as well too, right? Mm-hmm. So another accusation was physical disturbances in the poltergeist activity. So knocking on walls, moving objects, pinching, spectral sounds, other unexplained physical phenomena. And they attributed it all to the witch. So then I got thinking, does it say how old Betsy was?
No, it doesn't. John, don't be fine.
Yeah, see what they say. Because, what if the poltergeist activity was because she was intuitive and hit that hormonal age and,
Is that usually when it happens?
Telekinesis and all of that other stuff kicks in?
11 to 12.
That's how
it begins.
Oh, see?
Yeah, and it ends when she's 15.
And how old does it say how old she was when she moved out? So apparently she was harassed when she was engaged, and she was harassed so badly by the entity about who she was engaged to that she broke off the engagement and ended up marrying somebody else. And then she moved to a different state.
Yeah, it says that she married her former school teacher.
Her school teacher?
Mm-hmm. Richard Powell.
That feels all.
The same man the Bell Witch reportedly hated.
Is who she married.
Mm-hmm. And then she moved to Mississippi and lived there until 1888.
And it doesn't say that there was any reports of haunting with her after, right?
No.
See, I find that. And the cabin that's there is not the original cabin, that it's a reproduction, right? Mm-hmm. Hi, Anita. Thanks. Carrie was a trooper. I'm like, I got us hats.
They're quite cute. I like them.
Carrie is she's honestly the best. We go away for the weekend. I'm gonna bring sheets. Let's take photos. We go where we're Collingwood. We go around. Yeah. And Michelle took the pictures for us. Michelle Plummer, who is in the chat, took all of the photos of us. She too is a great champ. And yeah, we appreciate you, Michelle. Let's investigate at the cemetery. Okay.
That one was a weird cemetery. It was in that weird pine.
Mm-hmm.
That was a strange one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it was good.
Yeah. And then there was that other one where it ripped. What was it saying? It was saying that they were going to play a joke, a prank.
They were going to play a prank, and then the car bottomed out, and we broke your car.
But it wasn't that bad. It was just
like a heat shield or something.
No,
like
it was
something that dropped.
Yeah, I know it was like where you put the oil in, and it was flapping
Oh.
all the way home. You remember?
But luckily, Frank is across the street, so the mechanic fixed it.
He just cut it off.
Yeah, we got into some trouble.
Yeah,
but that's how it should be. Hi, Sandy Cordick. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, Michelle, I'm so glad. And you know what? Carrie's never gotten one. So I'm like, tonight when you go home, because we don't live necessarily close and our schedules are always conflicting, really. So it just worked out that she was going to be this way and could be on the show tonight. So yeah, she's getting her sweater tonight. Gail is sharing, hope you don't mind me saying this, but I do feel a lot of accusations were false and some individuals were persecuted because of their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And then with the sake witch trials. Oh, fake witch trials? Total hysteria. Most were probably totally innocent, but the times and especially the church, if you were different or had markings, you were evil, if it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Totally does. And that's exactly where, when I said, like, originally I thought we would be going this direction, but we're going to go somewhere else, especially with the Pendle Hill, because that's what I feel too. And there is a difference between, I think there was just, I don't know, being in relationship with your surroundings and the land and how you interacted and were in communion with everything that is around you, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I agree. It was a crazy road trip for sure, Denise. Oh, it is sweater weather in Boulder. She's in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh yeah, definitely sweater weather. Sweater weather.
But lots of people go to the Bell Witch Cave, and so with the Bell Witch Cave, they say they hear voices in the cave. And the cave really didn't have anything to start with, anything to do with the haunting. It started in the cabin.
The homestead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the cave is the only tangible
Well, they recreated
Did they?
Yeah, they recreated the cabin so you can walk through the cabin. But that's what I'm like, would you project that energy into that space and then create that haunting? Mm-hmm. But in the cave, you would have that audio pareidolia, the kicking in as well too, where you think you're hearing something based on those sounds, right? Or we're looking for it to be something potentially as well too, right? But the thing with the taking the rocks and then having the bad things happen.
But there's lots of places like that too, right? Like there's in Hawaii, you can take like the lava stone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. And Michelle Plummer, you would know that story as well too. Maybe you can share bits and pieces. I forget which one it is, but I thought it had to do with Pele.
I thought it did.
We'll find out, I think. We look like trouble, but the good kind, right, Anita? We mostly look for places for food.
True.
Contessa Martin's back home, the women who used and knew about herbs were called witches too. Well, and that's what I'm getting at. Like when we start talking about the Pendle Hill, all of that comes into play, and that's what I think happens, and it still does happen if you're doing those things that should be natural and normal, are outside of the box and not as controllable. And if it's not controllable, then persecuted. Gail is sharing, I'd have been a sooner for sure. Left-handed,
Yeah.
Left-handed and a birthmark. Yikes. Hi, Christine. Thank you for being here. You're right. We're going to talk about some of those signs and symbols tonight.
Didn't that start with Mary Shipton? Was that Mary Shipton? That she was born in a cave and she was deformed?
I don't know.
And she was a herbalist.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, I didn't know. Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, not to say that there isn't a haunting, but it just, could it be a curse?
Well, one thing that I found interesting was the fact that the Bell Witch was hurting people in the house, but in the cave, she was said to save people, save that little boy in the crevice, and said, "Don't come back here." That's what they heard.
So then, would it be elementals in the cave, but the stories are all getting mixed up? Potentially?
Possibly.
I'm kind of running with, is there a potential that there was somebody intuitive or sensitive, and if there's just big emotions that created its own entity that fed off of the other emotions that it received? I don't know.
Definitely seems like that if it stopped after she moved out.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Paley's curse, leave a bottle of gin for her and watch the lava flow. I didn't know about the gin. That's interesting. Deborah Hackett-Jones, thank you so much for being here. So folks, Deborah has been a guest on the show a couple of times. She is an amazing medical intuitive, energy healer, light worker. So you can go back and find that show in the archives as well too, and look for her online. So Denise, Denise is sharing possibly due to building on the land. So I thought there were mounds, but not where the house was, but further away. Did you come across that?
I didn't come across that.
I thought that's what I read, but I could be mistaken. Oh yeah. So there's also, the Bell Witch story also has the shape-shifting stuff. Right? So the witch allegedly appeared as animals, a rabbit, a dog, and other forms, and made animal noises crossing between forms. And they had slaves as well too. Mm-hmm. So I heard that the slaves were also being affected.
Oh.
Is there a possibility that the slaves had magic too, like doing their own rituals?
Possibly.
And haunting?
Possibly.
Good on them.
I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah. Good on them. Close to the cave. Thank you, Denise. Gail is asking, could some entities feed off certain elements, especially? Yes, for sure they do. For sure they do feed off of big emotions. And then I think on Beneath the Hollow Moon on Thursday nights with Laura Lee Pavin, we did a segment on like Canada's Wonderland. What am I thinking? What's the word I want? I'm having a brain fart. Like Canada's Wonderland, like amusement parks.
Yes.
So we did like haunted amusement parks and stuff like that. But we found this potential theory that dimensional beings, other dimensional beings, feed off of the screams and fear and that energy, just like in Monsters, Inc., like in the Disney movie.
Right.
So is there the potential? I think that entities can for sure feed off of if they can oppress you with different emotions, I'm sure that they can take as well too and feed off of. I think anyway. From my experience. Okay, what's another accusation? Oh yeah, so the interfering. I think that we chatted about this really quickly, right? So Betsy had all kinds of like years of torment, and again, they named the entity Kate, or blamed Kate, but I don't know how that even fits into the story when she was like the neighbor.
Yeah.
But they didn't really get along with her,
Right.
which probably meant that she was just like opinionated, and they didn't like it.
Probably.
But she pressured Betsy Bell to break off her engagement with Joshua Gardner. And then she married
the school teacher.
I find that, but I think back then too, like you weren't older as a school teacher either. You could be younger, right? I think that you could be young as a school teacher.
I think they married young back then too. I think people only lived until they were like 30 back then.
No, because like when we get to that, Chicky was 80.
Oh, that's true.
But she was like accused of being a witch. So she was herbs, medicine, land. She was probably very healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-mm. And Gail is sharing, I was actually pursued by an entity in the UK where I'm from originally, but I live in Canada now. I don't know what it was, but it was not a normal spirit. Huge robed figure. I was reported in to be haunted by a witch and some children that died of cholera in the nursery.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, is this something like that is all okay now? You're not having these experiences now? Then I always have 1,000 questions. Is there a past lifetime connection to that unfinished business?
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of connection to the children? Stories go back and forth? I don't know, but lots of people go to that Bell Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people. But they're not seeing like you're right, like scratches or.
It's more auditory. They hear the things. Don't go in there. Those sort of things.
Could that be elemental and not necessarily a witch? Dimensional?
Possibly.
If it's connected to the land? Maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. I always have just more questions.
I know. Let's get into the Pendle.
Oh, no. Well, I think that with the Bell Witch, is there more? Is there parts of the story that we've missed out?
No,
I really do think like a lot of it is that telephone game, right? Like, so it starts there. Andrew Jackson. So Major General Jackson. Can you share a little bit about that?
Was he the president?
I think he becomes president later. I don't really know. Sorry, folks in the United States, but you can correct us.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a major general during the war.
Yes.
And he was in I don't know where he was. Nashville? Is that what it says? He was somewhere else. And then he brought people, and the wagon got stuck in the mud. And then he accuses the witch. Do you know the rest of the story?
Not to that depth. I just read that he had heard something and he hightailed it out there, but it wasn't until like years later that story came about.
I know, but this is the thing. Like the stories got embellished over years. So, and bits and pieces got added to it. And so did we all create it?
Yes.
I think so. I think so. I think so. I just think it's I don't know. Some of those places I don't feel pulled to even go check out because of that reason, you know?
No. Not as publicized as that one. There's probably other.
I just think, what does it say? I don't know, mysterious sounds and scratching.
Lamps go out.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like it was a whole bunch of different things. Potentially, I would say how I feel about it, I feel like it's potentially poltergeist stuff that comes from in-house as well too. And then elementals.
But if you want to look for something, you're going to find it. If you're looking for something, you're going to find something.
Yeah, I suppose. This is true. You can always find something to back up your story. Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for being here. I know that on the porch group, so on the Kerrilynn's morning porch, so the intuitive mentoring group that I have online, I use the Bell Witch Cave as one of the remote viewing targets.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody in the chat is part of that, if you remember when I used the Bell Witch as part of the remote viewing practice. So when I was remote viewing and it felt cold to me, and there was that tingle that I get when there's elemental stuff, but I didn't feel like there was.
I don't know much about elemental. Can you explain that to me?
Like land spirits, earth spirits.
Okay.
Like that kind of stuff. Still dimensional, but yeah, like that.
Do they take form?
Yeah. So like fairies would be elementals.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But then you have like air spirits, water spirits, fire spirits, like earth spirits. So that's what I consider.
Like the movie?
Yeah.
Elemental?
I don't remember.
Is that movie?
Is it animated?
Yes.
Oh, no. I don't.
It's where a fire and a water fall in love.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Elemental. It's called Elemental.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Lily will watch it.
Lily would like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, she would.
Lily's my granddaughter, and she's 5, folks.
She would like it.
She would like it? We'll see. Is there singing?
I don't remember.
She's kind of at that age, right?
Probably. Have you introduced her to the Demon Hunters yet? K-pop Demon Hunters?
No.
That is a fan favorite in our house.
Demon Hunters?
Demon Hunters. There's lots of singing in that.
That's what they're saying is in the cave. Maybe they just need to sing to it. Maybe they need to sing it to sleep.
Maybe.
It's a cute movie, Contessa. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a cute movie.
That's fun. Do you want to do a couple of these? Let's do a couple of these. Folks, we're going to do a couple of hexes or hoaxes before we do the Pendle. Oh, there we go. Truth or myth, hex or hoax. Hex or hoax, folks. Truth or myth. The trial by water or dunking was frequently used in New England witch trials.
I feel like I've seen a lot of contraptions where they dunk them
in the movies.
Yeah. And like books.
What do you think, folks?
Didn't do you know what's that movie? Not the Life of Brian. I'm not a witch. Do you remember that one? I'm not a witch. She's kind of, and they were talking about the wart on her nose. It's the Life of Brian. Who those movies?
I don't.
You don't know?
Mm-mm.
Oh, somebody has to know,
folks. Opposite. Deb saying true. Denise saying truth. Seen it in the movies. Going to say hoax, Kathy. So it is a hoax. Although often depicted in lore, water tests were not standard procedure in most New England trials. In some cases, they used it. I know in the Pendle Hill stuff that we'll talk about later, they used fire, actually. So truth or myth, hex or hoax, witch bottles filled with urine, pins, hair, etc. were used historically by people to protect themselves or create spells in witchcraft.
I think we gave that away already about the jars.
I know.
Earlier.
Don't touch the jars. Witch bottles were used in folk magic. But there have been a client or two where I've encouraged
to make?
Yes. Different bottles. True. That's right, Denise.
Put them under your sink.
Behind your toilet.
Behind your toilet.
Yeah. Placed in a roundabout. Later.
Crossroads.
Yeah.
One that you never go to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be mindful. And the pins are part of the story with the Pendle Hill witches as well too. Pins are what started it all. So this one was interesting for me too. So true or myth, hex or hoax, the total number of people executed for witchcraft over the centuries was around 9 million.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
That is
but
a lot.
It was a lot. It came up a lot where it said that.
Were they tried as groups, or
sometimes
was it mostly just groups, or was it just
I think
individual?
It's both. I think it's both. So it's widely circulated that 9 million figure is greatly exaggerated. Historians estimate perhaps 30 to 60,000 executions in the main witch trial era.
That's still a lot.
It is frightening.
That's still a lot.
Okay. Truth or myth? Once accused of witchcraft, a person had no realistic chance of being acquitted. Hex or hoax?
I feel like that is true.
What do you think, folks? They say in England, 25% of those tried were acquitted. Right? And I think, oh yeah. But imagine having to, I mean, you probably were tortured before that.
Yes, of course.
The whole time.
The whole time.
So the truth or myth, I know that we, you think that's true, Sandy? Truth or myth, the witch's mark or the devil's mark was a physical sign examiners sought on the body to prove someone was a witch. And I think, like, yeah, anyway.
Say it.
I will after.
Okay.
Very true. Witch hunters searched for marks or blemishes believed to be spots where the devil had touched or branded the accused. And they had a vested interest, right? Like sometimes villages were paying people to be those witch hunters to find out why their crops weren't working, or the rain wasn't, the crops weren't growing, or the rain wasn't coming, or just bad luck. And, so he had to find somebody to blame it on so they can make money. And then the church.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my Lanta's not good. Bad time. Okay, what's another one? Oh, Contessa. Contessa Martins, I would be burned because I have a turquoise birthmark on the right side of my head. And I think, wasn't there something too about being born with a caul? Is that the right word? Am I pronouncing it correctly? I think it's C-A-U-L. Cow? Where the sac is actually
yes.
over here. So that was supposed to also be a sign. I have a birthmark too, so, well, there's lots of reasons why I would have been burned for sure. For sure. Hello, Tammy Jonings. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it didn't take much. Like, and a lot of times if you didn't like someone, you could start that rumor. Mm-hmm. And if you were gathering on the wrong day.
Or if your husband died and you had lots of good property and somebody wanted it.
Horrible. Okay. Okay, so I looked up the top 10 accusations against alleged witches. So the first one was doing harm. So doing harm by magic. So they would accuse you of doing supernatural, conjuring supernatural means. So illness, death, accidents, crop failures, livestock, evil doing. That's what they called it.
It's pretty broad.
Evil doing.
Mm-hmm.
So number 2, that you made a pact or a covenant with the devil. So accusers often claimed that the alleged witch had entered into a binding agreement.
But how would they know that?
I don't know. But I don't think I think they just, whatever they wanted to say, they could say.
Yeah, and then torture them until they admitted it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Exchanging their soul for supernatural powers. There are people that feel they can do that, though. Signing the devil's book, a variant of the devil pact charge. So the accused supposedly signed a devil's book with their name, symbolizing their allegiance. So, are you baptized? Is it okay for me to ask if you're baptized? Were you baptized?
I'm not baptized.
Neither am I. So folks that are baptized, do you sign a book when you're baptized? Is there some kind of when you get married, you get your certificate, everybody signs paper, it's all legal?
I think you do get a baptismal certificate. I do think so.
There's something like that?
Yes. You don't sign it because you're young when you...
Right. But the parents do.
Parents, and then...
Parents offer you one.
Yes. Yeah. Offer you. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you don't have a say.
No, you don't.
And I'm not knocking. Please don't get angry with me. But I mean, I don't know. I think that there's beautiful parts to religion. There's rituals that are so beautiful across the board. There's beautiful aspects of all religion. But if you are born into it, you don't have an option.
No, you don't.
I don't know. I talked a lot about all kinds of different religions with my kids when they were old enough. Mm-hmm. And then hope that they would find where they felt comfortable in a community. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I would say my kids all have gone back to where our roots would originally be, which is, that Celtic background. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do get one. I was baptized as a baby. Parents sign off and the godparents. Thank you for sharing, Kathy. Sandy is saying, yes, you get one. I'm Kathleen. I got one and a candle. Kathy's saying, my nan strongly believe that babies should get baptized as soon as they are born in case the baby didn't live. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people believe that as well too, right? Or if you unalive yourself, then you don't go.
No.
As well too. And then they weren't buried in the cemetery either. Or how does that work? There's a graveyard and the cemetery. So I think they were buried in a graveyard and not in the cemetery. So the cemetery is connected to the church and the graveyard was not. Is that right? Please correct me. I am okay about being corrected. With loving kindness. I think that's how that works. Okay, so what else? Signing the devil's book. Attending nocturnal gatherings.
Oh.
Calling it a coven meeting. Witch hunts often include claims that witches would gather at night, worship the devil, feast, dance, or perform rituals in secret assemblies. Sometimes called sabbats. So a lot of these are what end up in the Pendle witch trials is what they get accused of. Almost every one of these so far when we start talking about it. Kathy, me too. Oh, I'd be in trouble for the nocturnal gatherings. Agreed. And I because a lot of times the nocturnal gatherings are not even very people-y.
No. And what about a feast? Right. Everyone likes a feast.
Contessa Martin's one of my brother. Died hours after birth. And my parents got him baptized just before he died. I would imagine, that would help have a little bit of peace and comfort, right? Mm-hmm. It's very sad. Flying, levitation, and aerial travel. I'm up for aerial travel. I think that would be awesome. The accused were sometimes said to fly through the air, either physically or in spirit form, to attend gatherings or travel great distances. So, could witches, could they be shapeshifters as well too? I think so, right? I think that yes, they could be shapeshifters.
Because she turned into animals.
Oh yeah, the Bell Witch was the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
So yeah. But so it says right next, shapeshifter.
Oh.
I just needed to read the list, folks. Hi, Fiona. Aerial travel. That's so funny, to attend gatherings or travel great distances. I would love that. If I was that way, I'd be flying to Thunder Bay next weekend, not driving my car.
No. Yeah, no, traffic is terrible.
That highway is scary.
Yeah.
Highway 17. Shape-shifting, animal transformation, or familiar spirits. Claims that a witch could transform into wolves, cats, birds, or have other familiars, so servants. Or spirits often in animal form that did their biddings. I think most of us that have pets will feel like we have a familiar. Tammy is sharing, I was born with a birthmark on my throat between the two collarbones, a large cherry red mole about the size of a quarter right in that little divot. It has faded as I've aged and is gone now, but I've often wondered if it meant anything spiritually. But I'm sure back then it wouldn't have been in my favor and seen as a negative mark somehow. 100% it would have been, for sure.
Don't they say that the birthmark is how you died in your last life? Do they not say that?
I think that some people believe that, or like weird scars and stuff too. But you could do past life regression and lean into that and see, or your own little mind journey. Ask your spirit team to do that mind journey with you if you're open to knowing all those things. And most times when what you're really pulled to, there is some sort of past life connection to, right? I don't know. I think we definitely were witchy.
Burn at the stake together?
Probably. Communing at night.
Yes. Feasting. Dancing.
Feasting for sure. Feasting. Jackie Collins, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. We're going to get to the Pendle Witch trials next. Cursing or bewitching others. See, I would just, that happens a little too often. So the accusation that someone used spells, potions, incantations, or curses to afflict neighbors, children, animals, or fields, making people ill or livestock die. And we're not saying that couldn't potentially have happened, but it happened so much, and it happened to people that were not doing anything. Right, Kathy? I'm in trouble again. I don't know. Where does a third nipple fit in spiritually? Guess it depends on who answers that question. Poisoning, use of potions, brewed drugs, and enchantments. Accusations of concocting harmful potions, ingestible poisons, or magical concoctions that would kill, maltreat, or bewitch others, sometimes tied to herbal medicine or folk remedies gone awry. But that's what they were cunning folk, right?
I'm sure a lot of people died by ingesting the wrong type of mushroom or
Herbs.
berry or herbs, back then. So then,
but the people then that's their written journals as well too, right? Keeping written, and then the sharing of that knowledge generationally,
right?
Because I did you do any research about witch trials in Canada?
No.
So I wanted to know if there were, and there were a few, probably more than what I was able to dig up right away, but like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, in that area. And that made sense to me because people immigrating, that's where they would have landed first, right? Is in that area. And I think there was a few in BC, but I'm not sure about like where they were immigrating from. I guess Viking time. I don't know. Anyway, but lots of people that immigrated, so they would have brought that old tradition with them. But I think that's where, if you understand where you come from and move back to that, that's why all of that feels so natural when you're doing, and it's being in connecting with that part of you that remembers, right? Denial of Christianity. Heresy, because witchcraft was often viewed as an inversion of Christian faith, accusing someone of abandoning Christianity, rejecting baptism, or being in league with demons was common, sometimes included in confessions or torture. It was all about that, right? In the way that they would torture them. And I think that's what happened with the Pendle Witch as well too. They were held for a while before, so just that torture until they agreed and fessed up other people. Like, hello, Rhonda, how are you? Miss Rhonda Harris. The freaking awesome paranormal podcast and the Orion effect. We've all been so busy with our schedules, Rhonda. I hope once we get through October and into November, where it's a little smoother, we have an opportunity to all connect in. But it's really great seeing how busy everybody is and all the things that you've been doing. Oh, Tammy, that's pretty interesting. Tammy is sharing, I was just given a book, The Path of the Witch, for discovering which type of witch you are. Have either of you read it? I have not read that one, but I have read a number of books about Celtic witch. And I have a book written down that I have read that I am going to recommend as well too. Rhonda, yes, we do need to catch up. We do. I was going to reach out about that. I've missed you. I've missed you too. Yeah, time to catch up for sure.
What types of witches are there?
Oh, I think culturally there would be so many different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based on your, like, where
Origins.
you lived. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The book that I wrote down, because I can never remember her name, because I have that kind of brain. Did I write it down this one? Nope. This one? Nope. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is.
The last page.
The very last paper. Oh yeah, that was another accusation. Interfering with marriage or personal relationships. Okay. So
that is a witch.
Yes. With a B.
Yeah.
Cunning folk. Life in the era of practical magic. So cunning folk, life in the era of practical magic. Tabitha. Oh my gosh, Hanmore.
Flanmore? Hanmore?
I did read it, folks. Yeah. Cunning folk. Life in the era of practical magic. And I think about Terry Pratchett. So he wrote all of those books about the cunning folk. And that's really what it was. It was that understanding of being in relationship with the land and the herbs and what they grew and how they practiced and what they put into it, and understanding what our bodies needed, and moving and transitioning with each of the seasons and honoring those seasons as well too. So yeah, then you get religion mixed in, and it didn't fit in that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy, have you started reading The Path of the Witch? Would you recommend? Has anybody else read that? Before we start with the Pendle Hill witch trials, I'm going to do our station ID really quickly. So if you are just joining us now, thank you so much for being here. You are listening to Spirit Switchboard, and I am your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. If you are liking it, what you are listening to, and you would like to find out more about the different shows and hosts that UPRN has to offer, you can head to uprntalkradio.com. All of our shows are listed and our hosts. There's always something new, and there's something for everyone. It's not all high strangeness and paranormal. We also, I heard we are getting the website is being updated, potentially a chat, which would be awesome to have it all in one spot, and a merch store as well too. And today my special secret guest that I have been so excited about having on is my best friend Carrie, also Kerrilynn.
Yes, also Kerrilynn.
Also Kerrilynn. Yeah, also Kerrilynn. Lydia Prattis. Oh, thank you for sharing. The Path of the Witch by Lydia Prattis. And I feel like if you tap into where your ancestors are from, and you lean into that, it just feels like putting on a pair of comfy old jeans, right? Like you're leaning into what your history and family was. So there's that connection that will feel familiar the more that you lean into it and understand that.
They say also, if you can find food that you used to eat, like from your origin, your body reacts better to it.
That's interesting too.
Yeah. Or doesn't react, whichever one.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, Rhonda. Perfect night to join. I've been looking for new reading material. Okay. Pendle Hill Witch Trial. This was like, I got right into this as we got going. I didn't know anything about it. I don't know if Kathy is still here, if you know anything about it. So I got to tell you who the players are in this story.
Yes.
So we'll start with the players of this story. So they called her Mother Demdike, so Elizabeth Southerns. And they say that Demdike means demon woman. Demon woman. So Elizabeth Southern, so also known as Demdike. So Elizabeth Device is her daughter, so daughter of Demdike. James Device is son of Elizabeth Device, and Allison Device is the daughter of Elizabeth Device. So James and Allison are the grandchildren of Mother Demdike. So we're going to call her Mother Demdike. And then we had this other family. So Anne Whittle, also known as Chaddocks. So she is Mother Chaddocks. And then we get Anne Redfern, who is the daughter of Chaddocks. Then there is Alice Nutter, kind of an unfortunate last name. Yeah. Jane Bulcock, again.
Another one.
Unfortunate last name. And then John Bullock, son of Jane, and Catherine Hewitt, also known as Mold Heels. So these are the people that were part of the Pendle Hill witch trial. And it all started with Allison. So Allison Device, and she was 17 at the time. And she went to the market and she wanted to buy pins from John Law. And John Law refused to sell them to her because at the time, pins were known to be used for witchcraft. And he refused, and it's said that she uttered a curse at him. And then eventually he just
died of a stroke.
Dropped dead.
Yeah. It says moments later here.
Yeah. Moments later.
Fast acting.
Dropped. Anyway, so then it starts from there where they are being, she was told on, somebody reported her as being a witch, and then she gives up her family members. Now, these two families, both the Demdikes and the Chaddocks families, were bitter rivals. Like they both did, they were both cunning folks. So they herbal remedies and understood, were healers, and people flocked to them. They were very busy, but they were very bitter rivals at the same time.
Probably competing for business.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, competing for business. But then if they were really like, clearly they weren't doing anything against one another.
No.
They weren't conjuring against each other. But they were definitely rivals, at least from the history. Anyway, so how does this go? So Elizabeth Device was charged. Oh, it just goes. It's on. Okay, where do we want to start? So that's kind of where we go. So each of them that were accused. So it was 2-day trial, and they were hanged at the Gallows Hill in Lancaster on the 20th of August, 1612. But
not all of them.
no, so Mother Demdike was not. She did not get hanged. She died in prison.
And she was 80.
And she was 80. That's the thing. So she was working for years. Like they said, over 30 years she was working doing this. And no one ever told on her. They benefited from what she had to offer. She was in good relationships with those people. It was after this started. So I kind of skipped in the story, but it's said that they got together. What is the tower? Malkin Tower. Right. So some of both families were put in prison, and then the two families got together on a Sabbath, so on a day, and they were gathered in the evening on a nocturnal gathering, apparently eating stolen mutton.
Well, it says it was Good Friday.
Yeah. I think somewhere we'll say that it's a Sabbath as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So then they all got arrested, but they were trying to figure out a way to save their folks. Now, do you not question that? If they were such bitter rivals, would they get together and eat food?
No.
See, I don't think so either. But it's an interesting, anyway. But they all get in trouble. And then they all start confessing to things.
After they've been tortured.
Under duress.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've cursed people under my breath while driving. Haven't you?
Many times.
Or on a call where you're having to wait with Belle for an hour and a half.
And then they hang up on you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That kind of, But if I see, sometimes when I get frustrated that way, then I'll go clear, cancel, delete. Clear, cancel, delete, and thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Not putting that juju out where it's going to come back at me 10 times.
I have insta karma. Instant.
Oh, do you really?
Yes. That's why I try not to do anything bad because it comes back instantly.
So, but manifesting that, do you think that it's coming back right away? So then you've manifested that to come back right away.
It's my own punishment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really curse too much anymore. I stay pretty calm and mellow all the time, for the most part. I don't do much cursing anymore of people when I'm driving or on the phone.
But cursing at them.
Cursing at them. Yeah.
Cursing at them.
Yeah. Cursing is a big part of my daily vocabulary, even when talking to myself. That's so funny, Rhonda Harris. So I call it salty language. I'm using salty language. But cursing a person, not necessarily. I don't do that. But so I have made a jar or two.
Yes. I put a couple people in a freezer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary.
Yes.
It was just necessary.
And you felt better afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got everything. And then when and then the kids know when you're doing those things.
Yes.
So when we talk about that kind of stuff, though, it's your energy when you are so caught up in your head and you're ruminating about something, and then it feels like that one thing is making something else worse, and it just snowballs.
Yeah.
So you're putting that energy by doing a spell, or however you're doing that, you're putting that energy into a positive end outcome instead of redirecting, so it's working for you and putting you more in alignment. And then when you understand where you come from and what your heritage is in that background, and you're putting those wisdoms into place at the same time, it just becomes this very magical place of ease and knowing and confidence and clarity, and it's all good.
Would superstitions then be classified as witchcraft then?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Like hanging things on the top of your door, like horseshoes and... What is that?
A chicken foot?
Oh, it's a chicken foot. or a chicken foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you get that? You're gonna have to show it now.
So that's one our friend made for me. Sure. And then I've got another one that I made for on the porch. That one was supposed to be in my old van because it was not working properly. So there was all kinds of things going on. So that chicken foot in particular was protecting my van. And then when I moved didn't have the van anymore, I got rid of the van, then I brought it into my office. So now. Did
you hang it from your rearview mirror?
Yeah. Yes. You're welcome for all the sharing that we're doing tonight. Yes. That one has some extra energy attached to it. But it's important. But when you think about your signs and symbols, and you think about what things represent, that's what you're doing, right? You're figuring out the things around you and what they represent to you, and what they mean to you, and how you can use them to put you in alignment for what you're trying to create. Oh, Carrie, good for you. Thank you so much for being here. She's saying, hi, ladies. Happy Turkey Day weekend. I got my big bird out thawing. We're not doing turkey this year.
You're not doing turkey?
No.
What are you doing?
We're going to do gluten-free, celiac-friendly mac and cheese and cornbread and a ham.
You can get cornbread that's gluten-free?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. We're going to make it because we got my kiddo with celiac, right?
Yeah.
So Denise, I can help you out. Just send me an email. Yeah. And I'll walk you through the steps, but you can do it. You're doing a ham too? Yeah. We're going to do roast veggies and all that kind of stuff as well too. And it feels like, I don't know, we had that weird weather originally. Mm-hmm. So, but until then it felt like we were ahead, like it felt like we were moving out of summer into fall rather quickly.
I don't know. We've been pretty lucky. It's been nice and warm for longer, I think.
I don't know. It just felt weird. Maybe it was just energetically for me.
Mm-hmm. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, that's for sure. Months?
I would say, well, yeah, but different.
Yeah.
It's just been different. The last couple of weeks, I know that this time I talk about it frequently, like that phrase, thinning of the veil. Mm-hmm. It irritates me. It gives me stink eye tight butt. It does. It's just like, what the heck, thinning of the veil. So, and I understand why they say it, and I get all of that. For the way that I have been feeling things lately, I don't even feel like there's a veil. I just don't. More and more people are consciously aware. More people are have raised their frequency level. I feel that more people, even if they are not necessarily on a consciously aware path that way, or would say that they are intuitive, are having experiences where they are seeing people that are crossed, or shadows, or light anomalies. More people are having experiences, and I feel that's because of the way that things, our frequency on a global level has shifted and changed. If anybody in the chat has a thought about that, please chime in. Have you, or like even dreams and astral traveling and all kinds of stuff? Yes, vivid dreams, exactly. More people are having experiences. So Carrie's saying, yeah, I only do turkey for Thanksgiving. I do a roast for Christmas and ham for Easter. I've done barbecue ribs one year for Christmas. It's all about gatherings and breaking bread that matters. I agree. We did Chinese one year, actually, for Thanksgiving. I know that may not have been traditionally what but we all were in the mood, so that's what we decided to do because we were together.
No cooking. It's great.
Prime rib. We do prime rib quite a bit for Christmas. Yeah, lots of dreams. So vivid dreams. I agree. Okay, back to Pendle. Oh my gosh, how did this break down? So Elizabeth Device, who was Mother Demdike's daughter, was charged with murders of James Robinson, John Robinson, and Henry Mitten. And that's the one. And mostly because her 9-year-old daughter testified against her. But again, the pressure that the daughter would have had and how frightened she would have been, to not, because the whole family had that heritage and background, and that knowledge was being passed from, and it was their income. That's what she did for income.
And who knows what they were saying to her at that time.
Alice Nutter's case is notable because she was not part of either of those families, but she was still involved in the trial. And then I thought, I didn't know if there was reports. Oh, I found some. There is. I think I wrote it down for you guys. I'll tell you in a second. So we'll do this, and I had a squirrel moment. Sorry, folks. So she was also relatively wealthy compared to the others. While there's little direct evidence against her, she was accused mainly based on her involvement in meeting at the tower. So she was involved somehow. That way. I don't know if I wrote it down here. Oh, I did. If you go to Gutenberg.org. /ebooks/ sorry, you know what? Then is /18253. But if you type in Project Gutenberg ebook, it's the Discovery of Witches, 1612 to 1618 by Thomas Potts. So he did all of this reporting on all of it, all of this discovery of witches during that time period. In that time period from 1612 to 1618. And then what the Project Gutenberg did in creating this ebook that you can read for free. I started reading it and it's freaking fascinating.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Because it's his report that was happening during the time. And then they break it down for you in between. So it's like written in Old English in 1600s, right? And then they break it down and how that culturally affected people in years to come and all that stuff. So it's pretty interesting. And then it's not, because so many people have also filmed Pendle Hill and talked about the investigations and all that kind of stuff. And not all TV folks are above board, or, so sometimes it's entertainment, so made for TV and not necessarily truthful. You have a more accurate reporting this way, potentially. I feel it feels that way. Not that all of them are not truthful, just saying that some of them are. So you have to use your discernment in what feels right for you. But it's the Project Gutenberg ebook, Discovery of Witches, 1612 to 1618 by Thomas Potts. So this case with these witches started in 1610, and they were, hanged in 1612. Right?
2 years is a long time
to
be tortured.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was 80. She was 80, but she did. So again, they don't say, I haven't got that far in the ebook, but they didn't necessarily say when she confessed to having signed the book of the devil, when she confessed to doing those things. So they're saying that after the fact, not necessarily prior. And they didn't say that there was any accusations that harm or bad luck to neighbors or mutilations of livestock or anything like that.
It was just that her daughter accused her, or granddaughter.
Yeah.
Granddaughter accused her.
Yeah. 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 Wild. Right? Oh, there was more there. Sorry, I went all sideways. Oh. So English cunning folk appeared to work alone or in small family groups. So again, it was tradition within that family structure that they're passing down from generation to generation. And there was no word of covens or creating covens where it was like a community of people. It stayed within each individual family and as part of who they were in relationship to the land and what they were doing with that. Yeah, so it was a family trade for both of them. I don't know, innocent victims. So Annie Whittle, so she was a Chaddix. She was the mother Chaddix. She ended up confessing to bewitching her landlord's son, her motive being that he attempted to harm her daughter in a vile way, because we have to be careful about the words that we're using, and Redfern, and to drive her entire family out of their cottage. So she confessed to putting a spell on him. So in a time and place where there was a different law for the rich than the poor, and the wealthy knew they could get away with those sorts of things, but a fierce reputation as a cunning woman may have been the only power someone who wasn't as wealthy would be able to have, right? So having that reputation of being very good at being a cunning woman.
But wouldn't you want to keep her around?
Yeah.
You'd think.
Well, but then they wouldn't have power. Getting rid of those people, and then they had to be in a line with church and what the church was saying, what was right and what was wrong, and what their beliefs were. I don't know, they snuff them out. Carrie's saying, yes, the veil of illusion is thinning. That's a better way of putting it. Thank you, Carrie. I'm getting tons of vivid dreams as well. So going sideways, do you set your intention that you don't want to dream at night? I set my intention to not dream. I don't want to dream. I do so much work during the day that I just want to sleep. I know that I share this a lot, but I want to sleep heavy enough that I'm snoring and keeping the neighbors awake. Shouldn't have drank yet.
She's bought me earplugs before if we've ever gone on our road trips, girl trips. Yeah.
It's because I love you.
I know.
Just in case, I just want to sleep that heavy. Anybody else? Because there's some times that I don't mind doing nighttime work when I'm sleeping. Yeah. Do you set your intention, Carrie, to just not dream, or ask your folks to for the night off so that you can feel more rested first thing in the morning. Like,
I was going to ask, do you feel like you're exhausted when you wake up?
if I don't set my intention, yeah. Then I feel exhausted. And because I'm doing so much work every day, that I just don't want to do any nighttime work. Sometimes I'll feel like I know that I'm getting that buzz where I know that there's some sort of download or something that I'm trying to integrate. So I'm just asking with as much grace and ease as possible so that I still feel rested in the morning. But I try to do that like on the night where I'm not having to be doing a lot of work the next day. Because I'm kind of like in that zone so much. Wow. That's wild, Mary Jane. Mary Jane is sharing, I want to dream. I do my best travels in my dreams. Oh, and Contessa, sorry, I wanted to pull that up for you. I dream every night, even when I nap, I dream. I want to be a champion napper, but I can't.
I can't either.
No?
I wake up in a miserable mood.
I wake up panicked, like I have forgotten something. And I don't really have, I just wish I could, maybe I need to create that time in the day to be able to do that. I did it today. I had a session this morning with a client and I was able to nap a little bit. This week has been hard. So this week we've adjusted to a whole new routine because my granddaughter is with me like between 6 a.m. and 6:15. So I try to be up ready for her before she gets here. So starting my day very early. And I love it, not complaining, but it's an adjustment. And getting her dressed. And
is daylight savings coming? Is it this weekend? Next weekend?
I don't remember.
Are we losing or are we gaining? We're losing.
Falling.
Yeah,
we go back.
So that's going to be an even more of an adjustment, especially with little kids.
She's already not wanting to go out the door because she says it's dark.
Yeah.
It's going to get
nighttime.
Yeah, it's going to get darker yet.
Yeah.
Right? So Carrie's saying, no, I don't. I need to see what's happening so I understand root issues to remove. And I appreciate that very much. I just don't want to be doing it every night. But maybe I'm needing to ask in a different way that if we're doing it, that it's done with grace and ease so I still feel rested. So maybe I'm needing to change how I'm asking that as well too.
Maybe.
I don't know. Just even that makes me feel tired. I know that sounds so awful, but I'm holding that space for so many people.
Yes.
All
the time.
Yeah.
All of the time.
Mm-hmm.
All of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So on my downtime, I'm kind of not wanting to. But I don't want to feel like I've left anything undone either at the same time. Because I don't want to come back. But we say that. And then we get over there in unconditional land and go, oh, I'll help you be their teacher. Oh, sure, I'll come back around. No. Nay. See, Tammy, I agree. It's been more intense the last little bit, for sure. But I do know in learning from Joni, so Joni Templeton Skinner, so our dear friend, Rhonda Harris, she's on their network. So she has her show, Joni Templeton Skinner, so True Crime Beyond the Veil. And she is a forensic astrologer. So I've been learning so much from her. And I think that's the way the planets have been, and the full moon in Aries, all of that stuff. So it's been a little more intense than normal.
Those Aries.
Right?
Yeah.
We love our Aries people, though. You get shit done.
Yeah.
Hi, Jody. Thank you so much. She's saying, hi, ladies. Super late to the party, but wanted to pop in and say hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you here. I don't think they can see, like, my tablecloth has bats on it. No, probably not.
You have matching pajama pants.
And I have matching
pajamas. On it too.
Matching pajamas. So everything is all bats. Carrie's saying, I don't ask to not see my dreams. Very telling to what is happening with my soul, and we can communicate root issues to remove. So I find, like, so I set an intention and set aside time to do that work as well too. Oh, Denise, thank you so much. So November 2nd, our time is changing then. It is exhausting, completely understandable. And that's why you always know when people are really doing the work, and it's not all love and light or surface stuff, right? Like when it's just fluffy and when it's really fluffy, you know, they're not digging necessarily deep, that it's buzzwords that are getting attention because it's gritty and uncomfortable and hard. Mm-hmm. Pam Smith is saying most of my dreams are very vivid. For those folks that are saying their dreams are very vivid, for the most part, I really don't dream very often. And when I do, it's usually something to pay attention to for sure. Very vivid and sometimes a little Salvador Dali-like, but I had one like that a couple of weeks ago, actually. But do y'all keep a dream journal? Do you keep a dream journal?
I don't dream that much.
When you do
stuff?
Yeah. Do you write any of that stuff down? Do you keep track of when you're doing like spelly kind of work, when you're doing any of that kind of stuff?
No.
I
don't have time for that stuff anymore.
To write down. So I find people always come back to it when they're in a time of need.
Yeah.
Right? And
absolutely.
Instead of looking at it as part of your heritage and a lifestyle that's in flow 24/7 in all the things that we do, right? And in the way that we cook. Are we growing our food? Even if you're not growing your food, how you are creating your food and serving it, how you're cleaning and your energy that's attached to it, like all of those things, and understanding that your house has its own personality and its own energy, and what are you feeding it, and all of it. It's just different. Thank you. Yes, to explain it better. Gotcha. Shadow work is hard. You do keep a dream journal. That's awesome. Do you know what's so funny? Another place of hearing the word journal, as soon as I hear journal, I do the stink eye tight butt thing again too. That feels like so much more work.
It does.
But I know that I've shared this with clients as well too. If I see that I'm doing a letter, then I feel motivated to do it. Like, so in that kind of stuff, I have to write a letter to myself. So I'll write a letter to like 6-year-old me, or I write a letter to my 15-year-old me, and then I follow through with it. Especially if I'm writing letters to my loved ones in spirit or ancestors that I haven't met yet. So writing letters to them, then I follow through with doing stuff like that. But if I I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the little defiant child in me that goes, what do you mean I gotta keep journaling? No. But if I say I'm writing letters, then you know that's what I'm doing.
It's different. Yeah. It's not journaling.
Totally. In my head. So that's how I have to fake it till I make it, right? Tammy is sharing, I don't, but almost all of my dreams contain water in some form or another. I have floated in a few before as well, too. The sensation was amazing. That's wild, eh? And do you understand what the water symbolizes for you? Denise Smith is sharing, always feel like I'm working in my dreams, but as soon as I turn my head in the morning, it is gone. Although I have recalled and wrote down people and feelings the past month or so. Yeah, the last month has been a lot for many people. And who wants to feel like they're working in their dreams? As soon as you turn your head in the morning. And they say to keep it right by your bed, right? And I found so I thought I would just like voice record instead of writing.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like not motivated to get it off and into a file and then do
It's work.
It is. But the writing letters is working.
Yes.
So
That is a great piece of advice.
It's working for me. Mary Jane, I don't keep a dream journal, but should. I remember my dreams and details for such a long time. See, then I get caught up with the coulda, shoulda, woulda. And then it creates the guilt and shame, for me anyway. So I'm just like, this is what we're going to do in this moment. This is as much as I can do in this moment. We went all sideways from the Pendle Hill books, but
it's okay.
It's all good. Right? No one wants to work in their dreams. And it's funny because I get people emailing me or messaging me all the time. You must feel really tired this morning because you were in my dreams and we were doing this stuff and we worked through this stuff. And so I'm thinking that
you're working even sleeping.
Yes. Jesus. And I'm like, I'm not consciously recalling having this engagement with you through the night last night, but I'm
invoices in the mail.
I'm glad that I was of service in that way, and it was a positive experience. Right? And then what do you say to somebody too? I must feel really tired because you were like really in my dreams and we were working on all of this stuff. I get very socially awkward, folks. For a Leo, I'm not a great Leo at all. I'm like, what were we doing in that dream? So Tammy is saying, I actually haven't investigated the meaning of water. So, and it's all layered, right? And again, this is sort of where I buck the system a lot as well too, because I know that, especially when I was working like with kiddos and intuition, when my kiddos were little and how things have presented for me, that it's not always the same as what I'm reading. Like, it may mean something to you. So you could read all of the different meanings that somebody else has wrote, that what it meant for them or traditionally, but it may mean something different for you. So leading into asking your ancestors if they can show you in dream time or symbols in a way that you'll see here, feel, and know what it is for you. There's traditional ones for sure, but it may be more specific to you. What about burning paper notes? Oh, burn paper notes. You mean for like spell work? Manifesting? See, this is where like people don't necessarily look at it as doing spell work when they're writing and burning their intentions or what they're letting go of and releasing, but it's all a ritual. Anything that's a ritual. It's just the words that you're choosing and stuff like that. Do you burn paper notes?
I like bay leaves.
All right. I burn bay leaves as well too. I've burned paper notes as well. Petitions. Right, Heidi, that's what we were just saying as well too. Write on bay leaves and burn. I think a lot of people start with the things that feel like positive things, so then it eases them. You know, it doesn't feel like they're doing something. Because again, people misunderstand karma as well too, so then they get all ass backwards about stuff. You're a Leo rising? Gotcha. So Denny, is this something that you do? You know what was interesting for me, Tammy? About 8 years ago, probably coming close to, so 8.5, I guess, years ago, I had a session with someone, which I don't do very often, allow other people like to do sessions for me.
Right.
Do you remember?
Yes.
When he was talking about ancestors for me? And it was like, I felt dumb. Like I hadn't even thought about that. I knew, right? Like my grandparents and my great grandpa and the things that they used to do as far as intuitive stuff. And I just didn't think about going, whoof. And then when I did, everything changed.
Right.
It just all changed. Yeah. Mary Jane, you write it on paper, then shred it. When you're shredding, when you're writing, are you also setting your intention and putting your energy into each part of it? Because, that's also part of the process, right? Like, is that intention on all of it? It depends on what you're working on. It would depend on what you're working on, what your intentions are. Yes, Michelle, I get that. See, Michelle's saying, yep, I see you at a certain place in my dreams, same location usually. You're always a camp counselor, but you never speak. Then you know that it's dream time. When I'm not,
You've shut down.
When I'm not speaking. So I know that happens, right? Where we're still doing that work, but anyway, not yet. But I'm seeing it done more. So do you feel like when you start noticing those things that it's something that's already been like, it already is in that timeline, so it's just coming to your awareness now, like you're meant to do all of that, so you're going to see it
more?
Yeah,
I think so.
Hi Ward, thanks so much for being here. Danny is saying I would use it to get rid of negative energy or negative things.
Well, they say you can use the bay leaves and sprinkle them around your house for protection. Yeah.
Or in your money jar. For protection.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're creating your own smoke cleanse or sage cleanse, adding bay leaves into that as well too. Oh, that's interesting, Mord. I realize that I never hear sound in my dreams, but hereby understand what is happening. So annoying. sometimes that's how information comes in during sessions for me too. It's knowing what the words are, not always hearing it. I don't know. I call it inside ear. It's my inside ear working. Not my outside ear. Inside ear. We have to wind down. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
I just love when I get to visit you. And I'm going to see you again in a few weeks.
Yes.
So Smith Falls, folks. I will be at the Station Theater doing Love, Life, and the Afterlife, what the other side wants you to know. So we're doing a talk, Q&A, doing a message gallery as well too. And the VIP folks get to stay after. And we're doing an investigation of the theater, which I'm super excited for. So next week, we will be doing a replay. I'm not sure which replay. If you guys have a suggestion that you would like to send me, please do. Because I will be at the Lake Superior Paracon in Thunder Bay. I'll be doing a talk there as well, and a gallery and a small workshop. There is a fantastic lineup next week. It is 2 days this year instead of one. So there's even more things that we will be doing. Oh, Kathy, I'm so glad that you're coming to Smiths Falls. I took a trip up there to check it out and to. It's
a beautiful drive.
It is a beautiful drive. Yeah, and the theater is amazing, and there's definitely like stuff happened when we went there, so it'll be super fun. Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, so thank you so much. Thanks to everybody that was in the chat. Thank you so much for chiming in. Folks that were new here, thank you for being a part of the community. I appreciate all of your comments and suggestions and questions. I appreciate all of you. So thank you to Joe Montaldo, the owner of our network, and Michelle DeRoche, our station network manager. Yeah, so next week, remember that it will be a replay, but I may, if you follow along on social media, try to go live on the channel. So it's Kerrilynn Off the Porch. And I'll try to post pictures and things that are happening behind the scenes for you guys there. So thank you. So thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great and safe long weekend. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Please stay tuned for Jeffrey Pritchett with the Church of Mavis coming up next. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.